Welcome back to our newest podcast episode. This is Clara, I'm Nani. We are talking today about our folklore or folk-inspired knittings, mostly Scandinavian inspired, I think, or let's just say folk-inspired because we pick inspiration from many sources. So let's start.
Okay, so I'm wearing the Unst cardigan today, which I already talked about in episode 5, I think, about Fair Isle knitting. So this is a pattern from Mary Wallen, and I liked it that much that I just chose the original yarns that were mentioned in the original pattern as well. So this is the Spindrift yarn from Jamieson's of Shetland. And originally it was a birthday present for my partner who gifted me the yarns because they are quite expensive, quite special.
Yeah.
And they had to be ordered from Shetland as well. So yeah, it's kind of a special project for me. And also it's the most complicated one that I've finished up to date. So let's just talk about how I made this actually. So normally all pieces are knit separately in Fair Isle or stranded color work, as you would say it as well. And then they are pieced together. And I started with one sleeve because I just wanted to make sure that my gauge was right and that everything was working out before starting the bigger pieces, so I wouldn't waste that much yarn if it went wrong. So I started one sleeve and I was quite intimidated about purling in Fair Isle, which is a whole other thing. So at the beginning I started, when I learned to knit Fair Isle, I started to hold both yarns in one hand, and then I just picked the yarn that I need for this stitch. But then I realized that the yarns tangle up too much and it was really a bit annoying to work this way, so I taught myself how to knit English style. So I would hold one yarn in each hand, and it works quite well with knitting, but with purling it's a bit more complicated. I would get cramps in my hand, and yeah, it's not very pleasant thing to do. So after finishing one sleeve, I decided to modify the bodice pattern a bit to actually work it in the round. So I started my first steeking project with this one as well. So I knit in the round, and when I came to the armholes, then I would add 10 stitches. That would be the steeking stitches, and also in the front, which are then just like sewing. How do you say?
Seam allowance?
Seam allowances, yes. That would be hidden away when finishing the garment. Yeah, it was a bit complicated because at this point I had to draw up the chart where I would start here, that it matches the horizontal pattern, if that makes sense. No, it doesn't make sense. How do I explain it? So in the pattern there's one whole chart given, which is a page long pattern. And when you're working decreases here, I'd had to draw in to the pattern where the newest row would start in the pattern, so that that would match horizontally. So like this pattern is the same as here.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm saying horizontally, I meant vertically.
Okay.
Sorry about that. So this was a bit complicated to keep in mind because for every row where I would work the front, the back, and the other front piece all in one, I had to make a cut after every seam allowance stitches and then restart the new pattern at the right place. I hope that makes sense. So this
makes sense now, yes.
Yeah, this was a bit complicated. Also then, it took me quite a few months, maybe even 2 years in total to finish this. And also when finishing the bodice piece, I was a bit intimidated by steeking it. So I think it's normal for everyone that steeks for the first time to just put it away, not think about it. But then at one point I did it. So I just sewed with a sewing machine some zigzag stitches to prevent some fraying, even though this wool is really not fraying at all, but just to be sure. And then I cut into it, and then I picked up the stitches here along this line and knit a button band for both sides. Yeah. And for the armholes, I then after that finished the other sleeve and then sewed everything together. And I'm really happy. It's very warm. It's a bit scratchy. I'm wearing it on my bare skin at my arms, but it's still okay. Yeah, I'm very warm right now, but yeah, I'm really happy about it. The fit isn't that flattering. It's quite a boxy fit, with which is normal for every Mary Wallen patterns. I prefer to have it a bit more shaped, but in this case, I still like it very much, and I wear it quite often. Yeah.
Did you choose the same colors as in the pattern, or did you make your own selection?
Actually, in this case, I used mostly the yarns from the pattern.
Mm-hmm.
One color I didn't take because it wasn't available online, so I chose another color that was very close to it. But in general, these are the colors that are original to the pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think it's a bit difficult to substitute yarns when you don't have them before your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I know that Mary Wallen is taking very good care about colors and saturation and hues, and is really choosing colors that go very well together. And she says always when you're using other colors that you have to take care of these saturation levels, because this makes the contrast right when having pattern. Of course, everyone can do how they like, but yeah, for this pattern, I just wanted to use the colors as they were. Yeah, for future projects, I would love to try out some new designs that I would make on my own. But then I think it's best to choose yarns that you already have and that you already know the colors, because it's a bit difficult to choose from internet websites where you can't really see the real color.
That's why we are creating yarn cards from our favorite yarns.
Yes, we have quite a few yarns that we like very much, and I'm always giving out small bits of this yarn to my friends. That everyone has its own yarn card, so when someone orders a color from, let's say, from Holst Super Soft, for example, then we always exchange the colors.
Remind me that you get some colors of Coast from me.
Yes, I would love that.
The bright yellow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very practical. If you have some friends around you that knit as well, then this is a good way to know more about the colors that are available.
And to create your own color collection.
Yeah, color card. Yeah, I do really love the detail I wanted to add, because even the ribbing is knit in color work. The lighter color is used, I don't know if you can see it, but the lighter color is used for the knit stitches and the darker one for the purl stitches. And this is a detail that I saw very often in Mary Wallen's designs, which I like quite a lot. I also, when starting the sleeve, noticed at one point that the gauge was a bit off. I did have some problems in the beginning already. And then when almost finishing the sleeve, the gauge was a bit off, so they are a bit tight, which is why I chose a different needle for the bodice. Yeah, but I think it's still fine.
And luckily, knitted garments give a little bit ease when wearing it.
Not fair that often, but it's still a bit elastic. So another project that I finished last year already is also quite a special project to me. I visited Iceland last year, where I wore this cardigan, which was holding me very warm. But then Iceland, of course, is, amongst other things, known for their sheep and their wool. And there's one wool company, which is called Istex, which is the biggest one in Iceland, I believe, and they are selling or producing and selling Icelandic sheep wool yarns in different gauges and yarn counts and categories. So I wanted to, when going on my trip to Iceland, buy some yarn to make a jumper out of it. as a small reminder of my trip to Iceland, as it is a souvenir in a way. So what I got there, I also liked it very much that you would get wool everywhere in Iceland, even in normal supermarkets. They had a space where they would sell yarns. So
Ooh.
Icelandic yarns, but also Norwegian yarns from Rauma, I believe, or from what's the other brand? I forgot the name, but they were selling quite a few yarns. And from Germany, when there is yarn in these supermarkets, it's almost always like a polyacryl kind of yarn, very cheap, not very nice to work with. So I was pleasantly surprised. So what I got were these two yarns,
This looks
which
so fantastic.
I hadn't ever used before, which is some sort of pre-yarn. I don't know how to call it.
Pre-spinning yarn.
Yeah, pre-spun yarn. So normally this is what you would have before ring spinning yarn industrially. But this is also, I think, getting very popular in the last few years.
Mhm.
So yeah, I got this one. First of all, I got the instructions for a jumper that I like very much, and I bought these two without realizing that I would actually need another yarn to knit it together with, because the strength of this yarn is almost non-existent. So I just realized this after coming home already, so I had to order some yarn to go with it, which is this one. So this is a lace weight yarn, and you would knit these two together and these two together, and yeah, to create a colorwork jumper. So let's just show you the jumper that I made, which is this one here.
There you can almost not see the finer yarn. That's crazy.
And also, what I love very much, this blends in very well together. So you can't really see that you're actually blending together a pre-spun yarn in brown and a dark lace weight yarn. It just blends together in a more darker brown color, which I like very much. And you still have all these different hues and color speckles from both yarn colors. And it's just very beautiful, I think.
And it's obviously very warm.
Yeah, it's very warm. So this is the Ugla sweater, which I looked it up. Ugla means owl, so the bird owl in Icelandic. It's knit from the bottom up separately, so you knit the sleeves separately until the armholes, and then you join everything together and knit the colorwork section here, the yoke section, and then a neckband. So this is also quite typical for all these Icelandic sweaters that you traditionally have. So the more traditional patterns are very colorful, very bright. I chose one that is a bit more toned down. Yeah, so when knitting the bodice piece, I knitted up to the measurements that were given in the pattern, and then I found it a bit too short and knitted it a bit longer. But now I think that the bodice is a bit too long for my taste. Like you have it always. Yeah, I still wear it, but it's just, as I said before, one of these patterns that is quite boxy, quite not that flattering to the shape, to the body, I mean. But I still like it. I don't wear it very often, I must admit, simply because it's very warm. And we've had a very mild winter this year, so practically no cold weather at all.
No, not yet at least.
Not yet, yeah. So I managed to take some pictures, or to ask my partner to take some pictures of me wearing this 1 year ago, when it was actually very cold. But after that, yeah, I didn't get the
Maybe you
chance.
need to go to Iceland again.
That would be nice.
And then only wear this
Quite
and this
expensive,
sweater.
but nice. I would love to, yes. So just to complete the information, this is a pattern from Jedis Jönsdóttir. I will put it in the description down below. And the yarn that were used, this is the Platylopi. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. And this is Einband, so the lace weight yarn. I think that's it.
Pretty heavy also.
Yeah, it's quite heavy.
But I love the texture of it. Definitely.
By using this pre-spun yarn, it's also very squishy. So it's not very, of course, because there's no twist in the yarn, it's very squishy, of course, very isolating and very No, you say insulating in English.
Yeah, right.
Insulating and holding you very warm. Yeah.
So you don't need a jacket when going outside.
Not at all. Not at all. It wouldn't fit even under my jacket. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's it. These are my 2 finished objects that fit into the realm of traditional knitting, fair isle knitting.
Folk knitting.
Yeah.
Whatever you want.
Whatever you
Take
want.
it.
Thank you. How about you? What have you done, or what are you working on right now?
Technically, I'm working on 2 projects. The one project you already know, the temperature sweater, so I won't talk about it because it is a wound which has to be closed someday. Yeah, but in the meantime, I started a knitting project for my partner because he wanted a jacket kind of thing. He usually wears a very heavy leather jacket. And in the season of autumn, it is too warm to wear the leather jacket and too cold to not wear a jacket at all. So he wanted something in between. And we came up with the idea to knit a hoodie. So there's a hood missing. But it is a quite big sweater so far, with this Fair Isle band up here. And you wanted something really simple, but still a little bit Viking looking. And that's also how this book, where I got the pattern from, is called Viking Knitting from Lasse Mattberg. And he has a couple of Viking looking knitwear, especially for men. There are also children and women's designs, but
Do you want to show some?
yeah, I don't know if you can. I personally like the male sweaters more than the female ones because I don't know, they are really flattering on men, but on women, I think it's again this boxy shape. Always, I think we both aren't into boxy shapes. So yeah, that's I'm using this pattern, and it's called I'm not sure if it's called in English also Storm Hoodie, which has this big hood.
It's also very gorgeous in these colors.
Yeah, but my partner wanted it in darker colors because he's usually wearing black. Thank you. So I was at least able to get this little white or brighter
Very striking
stripe. And yeah, this also was knitted from the bottom up. Here we have a really
tubular
cast
on.
And it's really sturdy, which I really like. And just under the Fair Isle, the arms are started and then also knitted in the round. I had quite some difficulties to shape this upper or the yoke part. The first try was so much too small, so I had to turn around the raglan decreases. So in the pattern, we start with very steep decrease.
Every row?
Yeah, every row, and then only every second row. Yeah, only every second row. And I turned it around. So I did only every second row first, and only the last 8 rows I did every row, because my partner has quite broad shoulders and he needs the room in this area down here and not so much up here. That's why I had to turn this around. So you can see from here where the raglan is to here we have a little more space now. And also I know that I did it wrong nonetheless, is that the Fair Isle was really tight.
Mm.
And so I had to go 1 needle up in order to make it the same gauge as the rest. And as I said, I knew it, but still I forgot about it somehow or thought it wouldn't be that bad. But I can show you two comparison images on how drastic the difference is, because it really pulled in the whole fabric here. There were wrinkles in this area here. So it makes quite a difference. Other than that, it has a little white or gray stripe on the arm, and also will have one at the edge of the hood.
Which you are knitting right now?
Yeah.
Oops. Oh.
Also here, this edge, which there will be a cord inside, so it can be pulled in. And also here, when I started, it was way too small. It was approximately like that. And I mean, I can put my head inside, my partner can't. So I had to re-knit it. I tested it with other hoods he has, or friends from him who were there at the time when I started knitting it, and compared it, and then took the length which was nearest to a big hood.
Okay, so you have knit a collar or a neckband already, and then you make the hood and then you sew it onto the neck?
As far as I get the pattern. I think it will be then attached like that.
Okay.
So that the collar is inside and the hood goes over it.
Okay. Yeah. Do you match the gauge that is given in the pattern, or why did you have these differences?
I didn't match the gauge, but my calculations said if I then knit the size XXL, it should be this. I have the fitting gauge to get a pattern or a sweater in size M. But something didn't quite went right. I don't know. I think I calculated somewhere not quite correctly, or the yarn just behaves differently than it did in the swatch. Because this thing is very, very heavy, and it stretches or pulls a lot of the stitches down. So the width is not as much as I thought, because the height always is correct, just the width isn't. But yeah.
Which is the more difficult part which is the part that is more difficult to change. So length you can always adjust in one way or the other, but width not that much.
No, not at all. But it's quite a thick yarn compared to what I use usually. I'm currently knitting, I think, on 5mm needles. Usually I'm knitting 2 or 3mm needles, so in comparison this goes really fast. But still, it doesn't. Especially when I open up stuff again and again.
Yeah. What yarn did you use for this? Or do you use?
So I used the Donegal Luxury Tweed Aran by Debbie Bliss. I just wanted something tweedy with these little colorful speckles in it. And technically this is the yarn by its specifications should exactly match the pattern. Still, I'm not knitting in the same gauge, so I probably have the problems that therefore. But yeah, I tried to get as close as possible. I failed and I still made it. So one day he will wear the sweater. Hopefully this winter.
Hopefully in a few weeks, maybe.
Yeah, that's the plan.
So is this your first priority project at the moment? To finish this up?
Yeah, I have a list where I know to which is one priority, and knitting, this is my knitting priority. Technically.
Realistically? Whole other topic.
True.
It's a very beautiful design, and the yarn is so nice. It has so many colors, speckles in it. I love it.
Yeah. I was really pleased when it arrived. First I was a little bit, oh, hopefully it's not too colorful. I would love it colorful, but it's not for me. So
Yeah.
yeah, but I think, and he also thinks it's just right.
Just right. Perfect. Great.
Yeah, so that's it. Those are my two folk-inspired knits currently.
Your two?
Yeah, the temperature sweater, which
Okay. Which we don't talk about.
which we don't talk about, which doesn't exist right now.
Okay. Do I show you my work in progress? Yes.
Yes, please.
So as I said before, I like to buy yarns from places that I go to just have a memory and a souvenir of this place. This year I was happy to travel to Ireland again, which has also a very rich culture of sheep and wool and knitting. And then when I told my parents that I would go there, my mom asked me to get some yarn for making her a sweater, like an Aran-inspired sweater or cardigan, which she wanted to have. Then we were thinking back and forth about the pattern that was that she liked. We did find some patterns that she liked, but then the yarns that I found there weren't quite suitable to the gauge and to the instructions, so to the pattern. So in the end, she chose quite a modern pattern that is inspired by Aran cable designs, which is the Dagmar cardigan by Petite Knit. This is my first Petite Knit knitting pattern, and I'm quite happy about how it works. So it's very straightforward. There isn't much, so it's not very detailed in what it says. It's quite straightforward, I think there are just a few pages of instructions, which is fine. It works for me. So this is how it looks like up to now. Yeah,
there's the shoulders thing.
There are the shoulders. So maybe just show the back first. Because what you do is to start with this part here in the back. And then you work down, working some increases here along these lines until you work up to this point here. And then you knit straight down until the armhole section. Then what you do is to pick up stitches along both of these lines. And then you knit the front pieces separately down up to the armhole as well. And what you do then is to just knit further down in the pattern on the hole. So these rows down here take ages to complete, which is why I haven't made very much until now. What you do later on, but I just wanted to do it in between, is to pick up stitches along the armholes here to knit the sleeves. So I knit one sleeve in one skein of yarn, and then I just stopped to have her take the measurement if it's long enough or not. And then I just started the second sleeve and picked it up. So the sleeves take very long as well, which is also a bit more difficult in the sleeves because you don't have a wrong side row or right side row because you knit in the round. So you always have to remember when there is a row where I do the cabling, when is a row where I just knit straight, knit in purls. So I did have to rip it up quite a few, like maybe 6-7 centimeters down, and redo just one cable section because I did some extra cables where I shouldn't do them. Yeah, but it still worked. So yeah, I'm finishing the second sleeve. Then I need to just add a few centimeters, and then I knit the bodice piece, and then I'll have to buy some buttons or I will choose some buttons with my mom together, and then it's practically almost done. Yeah.
Technically, almost.
Technically, yes. So the yarn that I chose, when I went to Ireland, there were also a lot of shops selling yarns, different yarns, but not that many as there were in Iceland. But I was hoping more at the end of the trip to buy some yarn in Donegal. And there was a spinning facility that was also that was producing yarns, and then a few buildings next to it was a weaving production, and they were selling the yarns using and selling the yarns that were also produced in this town. So it's a small town near the city of Donegal, where I found this yarn here. So here it is caked up, and this is the soft Donegal yarn by the brand Studio Donegal. So I bought 7 skeins of this, hoping that it would be enough, and I think it will be just enough. After buying the yarn, I talked to the owner of this place and asked him whether this is actually Irish wool, which I found out isn't. So this is actually merino wool coming from the south of France, which is a bit sad. But he told me that actually real Irish wool would be just too scratchy. So sometimes you would mix Irish wool in a short percentage with merino wool to make it more soft. This is also very soft, I have to say. But you wouldn't use 100% Irish wool, so for knitting at least. So they had some blankets that they were weaving there, which had a small percentage of Irish wool as well, but never 100%, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, well, if whatever you wear next to the skin, you have to like it.
Yeah, and I think people are getting more pickier when it comes to wool. So because we're not used to wear these very rustic Icelandic jumpers anymore, at least not where we live. So I mean, this place in where I bought the yarn, they live off of tourism and off of tourists buying yarn. So when people come from all over the world, they are not really accustomed to wearing these kinds of scratchy woolen jumpers. They were just there to just keep you warm a few hundred years ago. So yeah, but still, my mother was also worried about having a jumper that's too scratchy, so I had to take care of that as well.
Yeah. One day I want to knit something from a sheep from here just to know if it's wearable, if I could wear it. I'm quite
Non-sensitive.
yeah, technically I'm sensitive in a weird way. I'm sensitive against polyester actually. So wool doesn't scratch me, but polyester is I'm feeling like I'm in a plastic bag.
Yeah, it's normal.
So I have this sensitivity in another direction. But I don't know if there's any German yarn. I know the Schnucke, Nordschnucke. How's the sheep called? I think Nordschnucke, which is also said to be really scratchy. But yeah, I would have to find a supplier first and a design.
There is a brand which is also from this region here, which is called Westfalenwolle. I haven't bought anything from them, so I just know that they do sell yarns made from sheep that graze here around the Rhine, so the river which flows through this region here. Maybe you could try that. But it also always depends on how the sheep are breeded. The sheep are breeded. So you can breed sheep in a way that they have finer yarn, finer fibers, that they have finer fleece. But this just wasn't done in the last decades. So which is why wool was always treated as a byproduct or just as waste.
Yeah, technically it still
is, yeah. So farmers can't sell or can't live off of their fleeces, so it's just thrown away, and they have to pay for fleeces being thrown away. So it's not really treated as a how do you say,
a resource?
Yeah, so it's not really treated as a resource that can be used for garments, for example.
Yeah, that I think I add that to my very long list of projects.
Yeah.
Because I still have to have the fitting garment to do that. It wouldn't work probably for my very fine yarned 1940s cardigans.
You can spin your own yarn. Then you can make it very...
But currently my spinning is very thick, which would be probably, yeah, that's about it. would be twice this yarn. So that's very heavy.
Yeah. It's not difficult to make finer yarn. It just takes more time.
Yeah, true.
So
time is our resource of problems.
yeah, it always is. But still, we've managed to make some jumpers, so it's
True.
nice.
I just had an idea. It could be also could be really fun to knit with a really coarse, thick yarn and then a lace yarn in between and make a pattern out of that.
You mean one row in the thick yarn, one row in the lace weight yarn?
For example.
Why not? You can try that.
Yeah. Now the textile designer gets through again. takes the lead again.
Yes.
Yeah. It's super not soft and soft at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's also a bit irregular. So there are also some speckles in this one. They're not very noticeable. So there's a little bit of blue and yellow in it, but not that much. And this is what is typical for the typical Donegal yarn. So having these coarser yarns which have some speckles in them.
How often do you have still straw in your yarn?
Quite a few times.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I find it really interesting that you have that strand of straw in your yarn.
But even with the finer yarns, like the super soft, the whole super soft that you use for your cardigans, I have quite a lot of that as well in it.
But still less than with this sweater for my partner. There was a lot of it. Could make a little nest of it.
It happens.
But there you see it's a natural product.
Yeah.
You can't eliminate all of it.
These are our projects. Do you want to talk about future projects maybe?
Future projects, yes. I have one future project which goes into this category. It's a Norwegian design. I think at least it's labeled like this in the pattern I found. It's an old book called Continental Knitting, which was published in the UK to probably show the variety of, I think, mostly Scandinavian knits. And I think it's around 1940s. I think 1941, but I'm not sure about that. And it's a cardigan, a typical Norwegian cardigan, blue and white. With,
at least from the UK's point of view.
Yeah. That's why I made the air quotes. Which has the main pattern at the yoke and the sleeves, and also, which I find really cool, inside of the collar. So the collar is turnable, or at least you have a pattern at the inside and one at the outside. And I think that's really interesting. And it's really wide sleeves, and yeah, I hope one day I can knit that. I don't think I can't. It's just a time thing. But I would really love to wear it and have it as kind of as my partner has now, not yet. In the near future, something to wear in autumn when a real jacket is or coat is already almost too warm and you still want a jacket or something like that. And also I really love the 1940s silhouette, this small waist and broader shoulders, wide sleeves, and yeah, it would, I think, fit into my wardrobe. I will also knit it in blue and white because I just think it's amazing.
It's a beautiful combination.
Or black and white, but I think I tend to blue and
dark
white.
Brown and white. It's also
no, no brown.
I love brown. I don't love it, but I think it's a nice color. Yeah.
I don't love it on me. I love it on other people which have these color scheme of it, but for me, brown, I don't like it.
I like the just very, very dark brown that's almost black.
The cool brown. Cool toned.
It doesn't have to be very cool toned. it can be a warm brown as well.
Okay.
A very dark one that is almost black. I like that.
Okay.
In combination with white.
I can see it, I just can't see it on me.
Okay.
I think I will go with blue.
Mhm.
And I always wanted to have a sweater, blue, white, this
But
way, but yeah.
you showed me the picture earlier, so I haven't read the instructions, but the main pattern is also made in color work? There
Yeah,
are these white speckles?
yeah, there are these white dots all over the pattern. So it
Okay.
will be also very heavy,
Yeah.
or at least dense. It's a dense knit.
I was thinking, what if you take a blue yarn, a coarse blue yarn, and like maybe some sort of alpaca yarn for the white, because it's on the inside and also on the color on the inside. They would be very soft to your skin, maybe.
That is a great idea, yeah.
I don't know if it looks up very well when there's one fluffy yarn and one less fluffy yarn. But maybe that would look cool.
You could knit a swatch to see that, yeah. And also, if it's a little bit fluffy and these little dots fluff out, could look like little stars.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I will try
I want to
that.
make one as well.
We could do again
project.
a group project. I think we are really good at group projects.
Yes, that would be fun.
Okay, deal.
Deal. Okay, next episode we will show you the finished object. No.
I think that for either the next episode is really far in the future.
Yes. We will see each other in 1 year. Bye.
No.
We have quite a few other projects in the pipeline, as you say. So these are embroidery projects which we're working on. Some sewing, some more knitting, some weaving even. So
do you have something you want to make apart from the now decided on Norwegian sweater?
Always. I'll do this. There's another book.
Cuddling it now. It's my little how do you call it? Warming bag now. It's really warm.
Warm blanket.
Warm blanket, yeah.
There's another book which I think has been quite popular in these last few years, or since it was published. There's even a second tome out there right now, which is Kalevala. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but it's from a Finnish designer called Jenna Kostit. And she has some very wonderful Fair Isle or color work, as you would say correctly, patterns in it. Like this one, for example. I do love everything that has animals in it. There's another one that I want to show you, which I like very much, which is right here. This pattern here. So what I was thinking, I haven't knit anything from the designer up to now. And as we told you earlier, we both prefer fitted shapes. So what I think I'd like to do is take the pattern that is given, so the chart that is given for this jumper, and then translate the pattern into a vintage sweater shape. So I'm thinking about taking a very basic shape like the home front jumper from Squidney, and then putting just this Fair Isle pattern on this yoke here to have a bit more flattering shape, but still use these very traditional Nordic designs. I think this would be one of my future projects. I also like one pattern from this designer, which is for free. It's on Ravelry, I think, which has bears on them, which is also very cute. And this pattern is actually in dark brown and in white, and I love this color combination.
Okay, with bears, I could see it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I can't really tell you more about the designer, about the quality of the knitting patterns. As they are quite popular, I assume that they are quite good, but I can't say any more on that.
Do you have already a color scheme in mind?
Good question. Not really.
Okay.
Maybe actually taking this in dark brown and white, or maybe just... I still have some pulsed super soft yarn in a cone in white, and maybe taking a dark brown or a black for these animals, for this motif. would be very nice.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be quite an undertoned garment.
Undertoned.
No, how do you say it? Not that bright, so not
yeah.
that. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah. I also understood undertone, but it sounds so sweet. I'm undertoned today.
Undertoned, yes. Yeah, maybe this as one of my next projects, at least one of my Fair Isle projects. I would also love to have a 1940s Fair Isle vest.
West?
Vest, yes. Susan Crawford has some beautiful designs. There is one which the name I have forgotten right now, whose name I have forgotten right now, but I like that very much, and I would love to knit these kind of things. And you could always, I mean, you could knit it in the round. You could stick the armholes and the necklines, so you could just knit stitches instead of purl stitches. That would be nice. Yeah.
A lot of projects again.
A lot of projects again. It's never ending. We're not standing still.
No. Just taking some pauses in between from one project or the other.
Yes.
Yeah, right. I have to finish my temperature sweater one day.
Yeah.
So that's my other Fair Isle project for the future. But
yeah, I mean, sometimes it's good to, when you very first started with a knitting project, to just put it aside, to start something new. Because we talked about it earlier that you were getting really frustrated and you had one period where you just wouldn't knit at all because you thought you would have to knit on this temperature sweater.
Sure.
But sometimes I think it's okay to put it aside and to start something new.
Yeah.
And you can always get back to it. You can always rip it apart, unravel it, and take the yarn for something else. I've done that a few times and it worked fine. And when you leave something for maybe a year or just a few months, then it doesn't hurt that much to unravel it again. Then it's fine. Don't do it just right immediately, but after a few months, it's fine.
Are you motivating me to unravel it?
Or to continue just doing it.
True.
Don't take everything apart when you can try.
Yeah, no, I when we last spoke about this project, I was saying it doesn't fit, and after that I tried it on and it did fit, so I have no excuse anymore to continue. Just that I first have to finish the hood of this storm hoodie, and
just one row a day. Because every row is different, so you can just do one row and then leave it.
True.
And the next day you start another row.
That's true. Yeah, maybe like with embroidery, one row a day, one petal a day, and one day I will do one row, one petal, one seam, one.
That is getting too much again.
But technically it works. So it's just 15 minutes or something like that. Sometimes do so much if you do it continuously.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know why this project still has a really big wall I have to take before I can restart it somehow.
It happens.
Yeah.
Okay, so we would be very pleased to hear in the comments what you are working on right now. Do you have any Fair Isle patterns that you can recommend or that you loved making? Please tell us. And then, until then, we'll see each other the next time.
Hopefully soon.
Yeah, hopefully very soon.
And
see you then. Bye.
Bye.